So yeah, just make sure that you have that mind control, that you can control your emotions, because if not, you will slip into depression. You'll slip into eating, overeating, drinking, even possibly doing drugs, which is a big no. Which you definitely don't want to play with that kind of fire. All right, so just keep those in mind. Keep that in mind. Just stick with it. Whatever. Stick with it, take it seriously. So, I challenge you to, if you are hurt and kind of like me, you can't do much, I challenge you to find something that you enjoy, other than, things that are bad for you. Find something that you enjoy, do it, and get good at it. Even if you kind of are getting bored with it, I suggest you just kind of stick with it. Or maybe find something else that you enjoy. Because doing something you enjoy and is productive can help you get out of your rut, because it distracts you from negative thoughts. I'm actually mainly a drummer. I had to sell my set back when I was stationed in Carson. That really sucked. Man, I love that set. I had a black and white, all like matte black, well, I guess you could say matte white, pearl drum set. It was a pearl form. But it was a beautiful drum set. It sounded good. I liked everything about it. I've kept up with it, and playing for me is like a euphoric. It's a different euphoric sensation, and what I get out of it is like no other drug or any kind of alcohol could substitute for. Music to me is my life. I listen to music every day on my way to work. Sometimes I even listen to some podcasts. I like to listen to podcasts, kind of pass the time, and especially ones that are really informational, that put out interesting topics. That's what I'm going to say. Because it inspires me, and it also teaches me some things. So whether the podcast is talking about history, talking about new topics, new stuff that's happening. It's entertaining, just like music. When I hear a good song, usually if I really like the song, I just listen to it over and over and over again. I had that son of a bitch on repeat 24/7 just because it's so soothing. It's awesome. And I'll go into a little bit of detail about that too, because what I used to do when I had my drum set, I had a CD player right next to my drum set. And I had these big headphones, these nice big Bose headphones, and I broke them. I was so pissed. And I plugged it into the CD player, and I used to play along with some CDs that I had. Man, I enjoyed that. It was so much fun. Because I used to play Stained on my CD player. I used to play fucking 311, Deftones, Smashing Pumpkins, all kinds of good bands like that. And I just remember hitting everything like note for note, and it would just feel so good. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm jamming out. Well, of course, all my neighbors went inside if they were like doing like housework or yard work. Music can also push you forward. All right, it can do that. I think I'm really getting on too much of this topic right now. I'm going to switch it up. You like my Thrasher cup? Badass. This is probably the second biggest thing for me that I had to do. So a little background history on me. I was in two combat deployments, both really not that great. I'm not going to go into detail about that. And that all happened in Carson. It all deployed twice with Carson, and came here to my new duty station, and we weren't really doing much because we were in the transition of changing, and so we weren't really doing much. We did some live fires here and there, but I had a lot of time to think, just because there was plenty of time to think, and I caught myself reminiscing about the past and about my past deployments, and it started kind of messing with me, like I was having really bad panic attacks. I'd be walking through fucking Walmart and I start bawling my eyes out. Of all places, Walmart, right? Well, I finally did it, and I talked to a counselor. I signed myself to go talk to a counselor, which is probably the best thing I've done so far, because it's really helped me out. But yeah, don't be afraid to talk to a counselor or anybody. Well, more like a counselor, because they're trained and they're specialized in helping people. So I would do it. Oh, excuse me, I'm professional. It smells like fucking gravy. I've been talking to my counselor for about about a year now. You know, it's the longest I've ever talked to anybody. You know, because I was always gone. You know, we went through pages of symptoms and how I'm feeling, and you know, and it all came together that I'd actually had PTSD. I had no idea. You know, I didn't want to claim I had. Of course, you don't want to fucking claim that you have, because it's terrible. You know, I don't want it. I didn't want it. I don't want to be that guy claiming I have PTSD when I feel like I don't have it. You know, but that's a funny thing about that too, is that sometimes you won't notice that you have it until you start seeing the signs. Like it took me. I quit. It took me about a year. It took me about a year to find out that I actually had it, because it just didn't happen just like that, you know. And I thought it did just happen just like that. So you got home, you're like, you're tweaking. It could happen. I'm not saying it can't. It could happen. But for me, it took about a year, almost a year, for it to fully kick in. And when it fully kicked in, it came with a fucking punch. It really did. And I don't regret getting help at all. They've been great. So just get help. It's serious. It's a serious matter. Having that issue, it's a very, very serious matter. If you're married, it could destroy your marriage. It could lead you down to, once again, drinking, drugs, overeating, anger, which I struggled with. You know, depression and stuff like that. If you do not take it seriously, it could ruin your life. It could end your life, because a lot of PTSD relates to suicidal thoughts, and that's no good, no bueno, amigo. Don't do it. And so when you have these thoughts, it just balls up into a big anger ball, or just a big, massive negative ball that you don't want. It's just sitting there and festering and bubbling and just waiting to explode. Don't let it do that. Just go and talk to somebody. Bite that fucking bullet and do it, bro. It's very important. You know, you want to see your family succeed. You want to be in your family's life. You want to make sure that your family's not struggling just because of you, and you're being selfish and not getting help. You don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. I didn't want to see it. It was scaring the shit out of me. I could have lost my wife. I could have lost this whole thing that I've just created. You know, being in the Army helped me. I'm very thankful for the Army. I'm very thankful for what they've done for us and my family. They've given us a place to live. They let us start a future. You know, going to college, I'm almost done. I only have like a year and some change left. You know, and you know that could lead me somewhere. But I did not want to see that all go away just because I was so fucking selfish that I didn't want to get help. It's the fucking truth. I get really passionate about this because it could really lead you down to some fucking really dirty, nasty roads. Just don't fucking do it. Don't do it. So that's my piece on that. I really hope that this video helps you guys out a lot. You know, damn, I'm already at 23 minutes. Let's go talk about rehab. If you're struggling with a drug problem or alcohol issue, go into rehab with a good sense of wanting to get better. So spinning off of that, talking about addiction, you know, if you're in rehab, take it very seriously. If you guys like this video, click and subscribe to my page and my channel. Please, I want you to leave comments on my channel, so that way, like, you know, it helps me out to understand where you guys are coming from. If you guys have any questions, post them on that. Just post them up there, and I'll answer them the best that I can.